Hello and welcome to SGPN's The Daily Dog. I'm your host, Britton Hess. I'm here with my favorite Underdog Fantasy Pick and Plays for Friday, June 20th, 2025. Also got some entries for Saturday in UFC, got some Sunday NBA. So we got the whole weekend covered here on SGPN's The Daily Dog. And shout out to anybody who's been using the extender promo on Underdog because you're getting that max bonus for Sunday's game. We made it to a game 7, so 100% profit boost. That is spectacular. So use it on one of my entries, use it on one of your own entries, combine my entries, mix and match however you want to do it. But make sure you use that extender. Do not leave that 100% boost sitting in there. Obviously, there's some limits to what you can do with it. You can't put $5,000 on a 2-leg entry with 100% profit boost. But hey, it's a good way to build some bankroll. Hopefully, you've been riding along with the extender all along. And also, if you're new to Underdog Fantasy, sign up with the promo code DailyDog, DAILYDOG at UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app for a 50% deposit match bonus worth up to $1,000. That is the best deposit match bonus out there, so take advantage of it if you can. All right, let's get into it right away with the Major League Baseball entries for today. There's, again, 2 games that I'm targeting a lot today. One at Wrigley Field, one at Coors Field. I think that both these parks are going to be hitters' paradises. It's not necessarily, Coors Field is pretty much always considered hitter's paradise, but the weather is really cooperating today. And then also Wrigley, early reports are that Wrigley is going to be another situation where, 20 to 30% higher than normal extent or than neutral conditions, expected home runs. So keep an eye on that. But on that note, I'm going to start with Julio Rodriguez, higher than 1.5 total bases in this game against the Cubs at Wrigley. Julio lit the world on fire a couple years back, not necessarily having that big of a year, but I think he's fine. Matt Boyd having a pretty good season, but I don't necessarily think Matt Boyd at age 34 is going to sustain the results he's had recently. His last 4 games, he's allowed a combined 4 runs. The game previous to that, though, he allowed 4 runs at Cincinnati. So we will see what happens. At home, he has been pretty good at home. I'm not going to lie. He's been pretty solid at home. However, the Dodgers were able to get 10 hits on him at Wrigley early on in the season. So it's not like he's, there are some valleys, and obviously the peaks have been more present. On the other side, though, George Kirby, who got a late start to the season, started out absolutely horribly. His first start, he went 5 innings pitched, or his first start, he went 3 2/3 innings and allowed 5 earned. And then in his second start, he went 5 and allowed 6 earned. He's got a little bit under control here, but again, I think that's going to be a hitter's favorable situation on both sides. But I don't know why I'm talking about Kirby right now. So Julio Rodriguez, higher than 1.5 total bases, pairing him with Ketel Marte, higher than 1.5 total bases at Coors Field against Austin Gomber, who is not good. All right. That is a 3x multiplier. Let's go to MLB entry number 2. Jose Ramirez, higher than 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs for the Giants as they are, sorry, I called them the Giants, the Guardians. They just played the Giants. For the Guardians as they take on the Athletics, another hitter paradise park. I'm taking Jose Ramirez higher than 2.5 hits, runs, RBIs. I think he's going to get a hit, a run, and an RBI in this game. I'm calling it one of each. And then Ronald Acuna Jr. higher than 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Facing off against Jansen Junk and the Marlins. Braves offense, maybe it's woken up. I think that it might be waking up. The Marlins are literally only 5 games behind the Braves right now. So kind of an important series when you think about it. Obviously the Braves should be able to separate in this one, but it is in Miami. I think Acuna's going to hit well in these conditions. 3.24x multiplier on that one. With Jose Ramirez higher than 2.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Ronald Acuna higher than 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. MLB number 3, keep on riding Gleyber Torres higher than 6.5 fantasy points against the Rays. Steinbrenner Field, going to have good hitting conditions. Wow, theme of the day. So give me Gleyber Torres higher than 6.5 fantasy points with Bryson Stott higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs for the Phillies as they take on Blade Tidwell, starting pitcher of the Mets. Tidwell, it's going to be a tough situation pitching in Citizens Bank Park here. I think you go deeper on the order for the Phillies here and find some good value with Bryson Stott, 3.12x multiplier. MLB entry number 4, Nico Hoerner, higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs for the Cubs against George Kirby and the Mariners. You know who has who's got the highest average on this Cubs team among the regular starters? Nico Hoerner. I think he's number 2 actually, but he's right up there. He's one of the best hitters on this team. He doesn't have the hype like Tucker, Seiya Suzuki, and now Pete Crow Armstrong. But Hoerner has been very productive at the plate. So higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs for Hoerner. And Hunter Goodman back in that game at Coors Field against Zach Gallen and the Diamondbacks, higher than 1.5 total bases. This man is just flat out good, not just good for the Rockies. 3x multiplier. All right, pitchers entry number 1, George Kirby, Matt Boyd, higher than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. Home run first inning for sure. Hunter Brown, Yusei Kikuchi, lower than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. Two very good pitchers. Hunter Brown, obviously of the Astros, Yusei Kikuchi, the veteran on the Angels, having a pretty good year, 3.06 ERA. He has been effective and he gets lots of strikeouts. I like that in the first inning, 2.73x multiplier. Pitchers number 2, Tomoyuki Sugano, Max Fried, lower than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. Fried, excellent year. He's looked amazing this year. And on the other side, Sugano usually gives you a couple good innings and maybe starts to fall apart, but I like them to get out of the first inning clean, 2.73x multiplier on that one. I just mixed my lineups up. Sorry, Sugano and Fried, lower than 0.5 first inning runs allowed, and then pairing that with Jack Flaherty, Shane Baz, higher than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. Feels like a home run's happening in this first inning, 3x multiplier on that. Let's continue on to the WNBA. I've made my foray back into the WNBA. So we're going to take Paige Buecher's higher than 17.5 points. It's going to be 2 bottom feeder WNBA teams. I think Buecher's is going to be fine against the Sun here on her Wings squad. So Paige Buecher's higher than 17.5 points. Aja Wilson, lower than 40.5 points, rebounds, and assists. She's expected to return from a concussion. She's not really putting up these type of numbers consistently. Yes, there's some outlier like 30-plus point scoring games, and of course she crushes this when that happens. But it's not a guarantee, especially after missing some time. So 3x multiplier on this one. Lotto entry number 1 for Friday. Max Fried, higher than 7.5 strikeouts. I think the Orioles batters stink. They found some stuff in some of those games against the Rays, but I think Fried's going to have lots of Ks. Alec Boehm, higher than 2.5 total bases. I already told you, I think Blade Tidwell is going to have a terrible time in Philadelphia. Jesus Sanchez, higher than 1.5 total bases against the Braves. They're bringing out a AAA pitcher, a 20-year-old named Didier Fuentes. Not lighting the world on fire, a big strikeout kind of number in AAA. But Jesus Sanchez, lefty versus righty, welcome to the big leagues, kid. 20.24x multiplier on that 3-leg lotto. If you flex at 10.12x or 2.81x, if it goes 2 out of 3 on that flex, I think you should flex the long shot entries every single time. Let's go to the Dong squad since we're talking about flex entries every single time. Cal Raleigh, higher than 0.5 home runs. You've heard what I said about Wrigley, and Raleigh is on a home run tear. Kerry Carpenter, higher than 0.5 home runs. I think that there is going to be a lot of home runs down in Tampa. Tim Tawa, higher than 0.5 home runs, a little bit deeper on the lineup for the Diamondbacks. Honestly, you could throw a dart and basically you can make a case for anybody in the Diamondbacks lineup to hit homer here, but I'm going with the young man, Tim Tawa. 51.39x if it goes 3 for 3. Flex it, 25.69x if it goes 3 for 3. Very nice. Or 5.94x if it goes 2 out of 3. Dong squad number 2. We are going to go with Dansby Swanson, higher than 0.5 home runs. Third highest home run total on this Cubs team, by the way, with 14. Mickey Moniak, higher than 0.5 home runs for the Rockies. Tyler Soderstrom, higher than 0.5 home runs for the Athletics, not the Astros. Soderstrom is definitely on the Athletics, not the Astros. 123.78x, 61.89x. If you flex it, 8.45x flex. So pretty close to the max you can even get on these flex entries. I like that one with some guys that are deeper in the lineups that hit for power and are in advantageous ballparks today to make some stuff happen. All right, first time on the show, I think I'm doing a PFL lineup. Kevin Lee, fight time, lower than 12.5 minutes versus Rabadonov. Kevin Lee, athletic freak, much better than most of the guys in PFL just athletically, but Rabadonov is very dangerous. I think they're going to be very aggressive. I don't think we're getting out of the second round here. Liz Carmouche, higher than 0.5 knockouts versus Dana. Carmouche had like 43% of her career wins are via knockout. She's going against kind of a nobody up-and-comer. It's a very much a situation where Carmouche wants to show off and continue to be an attraction for PFL. That's why she's the co-main event. Tennis entry number 1, just one entry for tennis today. Karen Khachanov, lower than 0.5 sets lost versus Thomas Martin Echeverria. Ludmila Samsonova, higher than 0.5 sets lost against Amanda Anisimova. So we got Russia versus America. We got Russia versus Argentina. So Karen Khachanov, lower than 0.5 sets lost. Ludmila Samsonova, lower than 0.5 sets lost versus Anisimova. That is it's like a 2.04x multiplier. So it's not the biggest one on the board, but hey, got to take the ones where we can get them. All right, let's get to Saturday UFC. Khalil Roundtree Jr., fight time lower than 12.5 minutes against Jamal Hill. I think that both these guys have taken so much damage in their last few fights that they're going to be aggressive, and somebody is not going to make it out of that second round, or at least maybe not make it to midway through the third round. Ignacio Bahamondes, fight time lower than 14.99 minutes. Again, just the way he fights, the way Fiziev fights, there's going to be somebody going down here. So 3.27x multiplier on that one. Saturday, UFC number 2, Hamdi Abdel. It's a really hard name to say. Hamdi Abdel Wahab, lower than 48.5 significant strikes against Muhammad Usman. Abdul Wahab is a very slow plotting fighter, and he's going to be scared to mix it up with Usman because he does have real power. Jun Young Park, higher than 0.5 finishes. He's fighting against somebody who's making a second run to the UFC. That's never a good thing. So give me Jun Young Park higher than 0.5 finishes, 4.8x multiplier. All right, Sunday NBA. NBA has been the bane of my existence lately, but I'm going to keep going. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander higher than 32.5 points. Tyrese Halliburton higher than 15.5 points, 3x multiplier. NBA number 2, Chet Holmgren lower than 15.5 points. Pascal Siakam higher than 20.5 points, 3x multiplier. That is all I got for you today. Good luck on your picks, and let's make some money.